Hello students, can you hear me? Hello. Hello students. Can you hear me? Vivek, good evening. Those who are present now, please type your name. Vivek, can you hear me? My dear students, we were discussing how to prepare mind mapping. Today, we are continuing that. Last day we discussed what are the topics we have to learn from the chapter real numbers. So, when we prepare for the examination, we have to start with this mind mapping preparation. So, first of all, you have to take a A4 sheet paper. You can take a A4 sheet paper and you can write at the middle of that paper the chapter name real numbers. Then you can mention what all the topic numbers, what all the main topics. As we discussed, fundamental theorem of arithmetic is there. So you can mention fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Such a way we discussed what all the points in this chapter. And second point, based on this fundamental theorem of arithmetic, there will be factorization method and finding HCF. So that we discussed. I think this chapter already we discussed how to prepare the mind mapping. Anyway, you have to prepare the mind map based on this chapter. What all the main topics in this chapter? Mainly fundamental theorem of arithmetic and factorization method, and prove that root 2, root 3, etc. are irrational. This topic is there. Same procedure used for proving root 2, root 3, root 7 all. And there will be question in connection with the root 2 plus root 2 root 3 is irrational. Such a way some rational plus irrational format will be there. Okay. Then decimal representation of rational numbers. That means we studied that a decimal number, for example 2.35, it is the terminating decimal expansion. That means the decimal expansion of 2.35 it ends at here. That means only two decimal places is here. But in certain numbers we know that there will be repetition, 5, 5, 5, etc. is going. Such cases it is known as non-terminating repeating decimal expansion. So such numbers will be represented in the form of rational p by q. If it is a terminating decimal expansion, the denominator q will be factorized by using 2 and 5, and we can write 2 raised to m into 5 raised to n. Number of times 2 comes and number of times 5 comes. Okay. Such a way you prepare the mind map for the first chapter. And we discussed the second chapter mind mapping. We discussed that zeros of the polynomial, relationship between zeros and coefficients. These are the main two topics this year we have to study. Now we are discussing what is pair of linear equations in two variables. So in this chapter, pair of linear equations in two variables, you need to take a A4 sheet. At the middle of the A4 sheet, you write the name of that chapter. What is pair of linear equations in two variables? My dear students, it is compulsory. If you are following a systematic method of learning for the examination, you should prepare a mind map and it should keep in your learning table. And before you study the subject or after the completion of your study, please go through this mind map, which will help you to keep all the topics in your mind. Why do I am telling this? For example, if you watch a movie, I'm always using that example which is so apt for that. If we are telling the name of the movie, automatically all the topics will come to our mind. Similarly, when we hear the name of the chapter, with the help of this mind map, we will recall that pair of linear equations in two variables. What we have to study from that? There will be a graphical method of solving. Graphical method is there. And second one is there, substitution method is there. Substitution method of solving. Substitution. What is substitution, that we can discuss. Then third one is elimination method is there. Elimination method. This substitution and elimination is together known as algebraic method. So actually there are four methods, but this year we have to study only three methods. So my dear students, we have to learn how to draw the graph of pair of linear equations. When we hear the word equation, we want to recall the format. There will be an equal symbol. And the linear equation means x has no power more than 1. That means the degree will be 1. That means we can write generally there are two variable equation, means x and y is required. Ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Pair of linear equation means we require two equations. So we will write one more. So the first one we will give a1 x plus b1 y plus c1 is equal to 0. Second equation a2 x plus b2 y plus c2 is equal to 0. So when we recall the name pair of linear equations in two variables, we need to think about this general format. This is known as standard form or general form of a pair of linear equations. Now we want to learn from this chapter the relationship between coefficients. Relationship. Which relationship? That means this a1 by a2. This a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2. Then only we will get a unique solution. What we will get? A unique solution. Unique solution. And when we draw the graph of this case, we will get intersecting lines. What will get? Intersecting lines. It is also known as consistent. That means there is a solution. If it is solution, we will say that it is consistent. So these 3 points we want to recall in the case of the ratio of coefficients a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2. And another relation is there, what? a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 is equal to c1 by c2. Such cases there will be infinitely many solution. Infinitely many solution means there will not be unique solution. Many solutions are there. Infinitely many solution. And the drawing of graph, that will be a coincident line. That means one line is standing upon second. So there will be all points which will be the intersecting. That means it is coincident. So infinitely many solution is there. Anyway, solution is there, that will, so it will be known as consistent. What it is? Consistent. This is the third one. And next point, a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 not equal to c1 by c2. This case, what is this a1, b1, c1? Which are the coefficients of the first equation? Those equations will be given. So my dear students, this case, when we draw the graph, those graphs will be parallel lines, never intersect. When we draw two parallel lines, is there any chance to intersect? No, there is no chance. So we can say that intersecting, there will not be intersecting lines, so there is no solution. Here we said unique solution, here we said infinitely many solution, here we are telling no solution. No solution. Why it is no solution? Because it is not intersecting. And no solution means it is known as inconsistent. Inconsistent. Why do I explain these all topics again? In the question paper, if you see the word, the pair of linear equations have no solution. If you see the sentence in the question paper, the pair of linear equations in two variables has no solution, at the time you want to recall this equation. a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 not equal to c1 by c2. If it is given in the question, if there is infinitely many solution, you want to recall this equation. a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 is equal to c1 by c2. Or it will be given in the question, the equations are inconsistent. Such cases also like this no solution. Such a way in the question paper there will be the word either unique solution or infinitely solution, or the graphs are intersecting lines, or it will be says that the lines are parallel. So according to these all context you have to recall the ratio of the coefficients. What are the ratio? A1 by A2, B1 by B2, C1 by C2. What are these ABC? These ABC are taken from the coefficients of x, y and constant. Such a way, if you prepare a A4 sheet and you are keeping in your learning table, what will happen, before the examination, automatically you will by heart it. There is no need of more repetition. Actually, repetition is there. When you are coming to learn the subject mathematics, you may turn over these A4 sheets as it is given mind map, which will map in your mind. So, my dear students, please prepare a mind map which will help you to learn the summary points. Now we are going to learn next one, quadratic equation. Quadratic equation, when we say the word quadratic equation, what want to come to our mind? Quadratic equation means we want to recall the equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This is the equation of a quadratic equation. Now here the degree is 2, that's why it is known as quadratic equation. So solutions of a quadratic equation by factorization method is there, but in the examination there is no chance to specify to use factorization method. If you are using quadratic formula, even though you will get marks, so I am suggesting you no need to give much importance to factorization method. If you feel it is a difficult method, you can go directly to the formula method. By using formula you can solve it. So here in this chapter, what all the points we have to study? First, solution by using factorization. It is also one of the topic in the chapter, so we can write it. If it is difficult or you feel this is very difficult, you can go for quadratic formula. And second method is what? By using quadratic formula. What is quadratic formula? X is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac all divided by 2a. This is what? A quadratic formula. What is this a, b, c, which are taken from the coefficient of x square, coefficient of x and constant term. Okay, and one more thing, when we use this equation, it is better to find b square minus 4ac separately, because it is known as a discriminant. What it is the name of that? Just a minute, wait there. Okay. So, my dear students, here discriminant. Discriminant means b square minus 4ac. Why this b square minus 4ac is known as discriminant? If you apply the value and this value of b square minus 4ac becomes 0, b square minus 4ac's value becomes 0, what will happen? You are adding this value or subtracting this value. Which value? 0. There will not be any change. So you will get only one solution. If it is equal to 0, then one solution for x. That we will say that equal solution. Okay. Now, if it is b square minus 4ac's value is greater than 0, there is a chance to occur b square minus 4ac greater than 0 always, most of the time. So, there will be distinct solution. X will have one solution alpha and x will have another one solution beta. In zeros of polynomial also we used the word alpha, beta, same it is. Then b square minus 4ac is less than 0, what will happen? Less than 0 means there will be no real solution. That means inside the root negative number will come. The negative numbers root we don't know. That we will discuss later, okay? Then next one, so based on this you can write and relationship between discriminant and nature of the roots. So these are the 3 points we have to learn from this chapter. Okay. Next, arithmetic progression. So you want to prepare the mind map for the chapter arithmetic progression, AP. We can generally say that AP. The first point we have to learn from nth terms equation. What is nth term? An is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. This is the equation. It is very important. What is a? A is the first term in the series. Generally, the series we will mention that a plus d, a plus 2d, etc. So this d is the common difference. So this is the first point we have to study from this chapter. Vivek, we will discuss the problem. At the time it will be clear for you. Now we are not taking the problem. Today also I am just going through this mind map preparation. Last day I told you to prepare the mind map and you submit in WhatsApp. It is required. Then only this class will be useful for you. So my dear students, surely you want to prepare arithmetic, mind map for these whole chapters. How can you prepare this? Based on our syllabus, you just find out what all the points we have to study from there. So in the case of arithmetic progression, nth term is this. And just a minute. So nth term is this. Now sum of the first n terms of the AP. There are 2 equations for that, but generally always we can use that n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. This equation is very important. One more equation is there, Sn is equal to n by 2 into a plus an. Either it will be an or you can see in the textbook or guide L for last term. Last term means it is nth term. So these are the 2 points very important, and sum of first n terms of AP. These are the 2 topics we have to study from the chapter arithmetic progression. Now coordinate geometry. From this chapter coordinate geometry, already we studied in 9th standard how to plot points on the graph. That's very important. And there will be distance formula. We know that a distance formula. What is distance formula? Root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. This is the equation. What is this? These are the 2 points. The point A, suppose AB is a line starting from the point A. That point is x1 y1 and B is x2 y2. So by using this line, how to find its length? Root of x2, AB is equal to root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. And second one is section formula. Section formula, we studied that section formula means, what is section formula? If this line AB is dividing in the ratio m is to n, then this middle point, not a middle, where we are intersecting, that point is known as x comma y. For finding the value of this x, we have the equation x is equal to mx2 plus nx1 divided by m plus n. And for finding the y value, that means this point will have y value, there is a equation my2 plus ny1 divided by m plus n. Okay. Then graphs of linear equations. That means already we know that when we draw the graph, it will be 2x plus 3y plus 7. This is the format, is equal to 0 will be there. This is the form of the linear equations graph. And internal division only we have. Internal division means actually it is m is to n dividing inside the in between the points. No need to discuss more about external division. So by including these 3 topics, you need to prepare what? What do you want to prepare? A mind map is required to prepare. Okay. Just a minute. Similarly, from the chapter triangles, we have more points, especially first point, it is based on basic proportionality theorem. What is basic proportionality theorem? If we draw a line, that line you recall in your mind DE. Together you can explain. You can say with me, what's the line which we drawn? DE. What is that line? it is parallel to one side of the triangle, which is that side BC. So DE is parallel to BC. That is the given part of the theorem. DE is parallel to BC. Then there will be another two sides. What are they? AB and AC, which will be divided in the same ratio. Divided in the same ratio. Divided in the same ratio. What are the divisions here? AD and DB. What is their ratio? AD by DB. What is the ratio of this side? AE by EC. They are same. The ratio is same means which will be equal. Can you understand? So this is the first point we have to study from our chapter. Okay, today I am going to conclude. Tomorrow we can continue with the chapter triangles. Okay. Thank you.